Good morning. Today we are starting our new module, Astrophysics, and in this module we are studying in detail about stars, its brightness, its distance from us, and other systems like the spherical polar coordinates, altazimuth system, equatorial system, etc. So today we are starting our first session regarding astrophysics. So what is astronomy? The word astronomy is derived from the Greek word astron, which means star, and nomi is derived from the word nomos, that means law or culture. So astronomy means the law or culture of stars. So astronomy is a natural science, and it includes the study of celestial objects like planets, stars, moon and galaxies. So astronomy is a natural science which helps us to study about the celestial objects. And astronomers use the principles of both physics and mathematics to learn about these celestial objects. And it was Copernicus who first taught us that the sun was the center of the solar system and it's not the earth. And this was confirmed by Galileo Galilei using his telescope. So Galileo Galilei built the first telescope in 1609 and proved that the Copernicus was right. Now what is astrophysics? Astrophysics is a branch of space science that deals with the study of universe. And in this study we use the principles of both physics and chemistry to ascertain or to study the nature of heavenly bodies. It also tells us about the origin of our universe and its components such as galaxies, planets, sun, moon, etc. Today in this class we are studying more about stars. So what is a star? A star is a great ball of gas formed mostly from element hydrogen, which is converted to helium through a thermonuclear reaction called fusion. So it's a great ball of gas, and inside that nuclear fusion takes place. We know that there are millions and millions of stars in the sky, isn't it? And we can see these stars with our naked eye, but that is approximately only 5,000 stars can be visible with our naked eye, and other stars can be seen through telescopes. No. Now what are the factors or what are the characteristics for identifying a star? So a star is having a particular brightness as well as color. So this brightness and color serve as the characteristics for identifying the star. Now we had already said that we can see the stars with our naked eye, isn't it? So we can see the brightness of the star. Therefore, that brightness is known as apparent brightness. Apparent brightness means the brightness which is measured with the help of our naked eye. Now this apparent brightness differs from its actual brightness. See, the star is having a particular brightness. Actual brightness is there. But we are measuring the star from a great distance, isn't it? So its brightness will be differ from its actual brightness. So the brightness which we measure with the help of our naked eye is known as apparent brightness, which differ from its actual brightness. So that apparent brightness depends on the actual brightness as well as the distance of the star from us. I repeat, we measure the brightness of a star with our naked eye. That brightness is known as apparent brightness, and it is differ from the actual brightness of the star because this apparent brightness depends on the distance of the star from us. So there are two factors upon which the apparent brightness depends. So that this apparent brightness depends on the actual brightness as well as the distance of the star from us. So this we can say this brightness as a magnitude of star. Based upon the measurements of the apparent brightness of stars, a measurement scale had been developed. That measurement is called magnitude. So magnitude of a star means it measures the brightness of the star. And there are two types of magnitudes, apparent magnitude and absolute magnitude. Now, what is meant by apparent magnitude? This is introduced by the Greek astronomer Hipparchus, and this apparent magnitude measures the brightness of the star based on naked eye observations. So, we are measuring the brightness of the star directly with the help of our eye, and that brightness is known as apparent brightness, or we can call it as apparent magnitude. And Hipparchus used 6 levels of brightness which he called magnitudes. See, Hipparchus studied the brightness of the stars with his naked eye and classified the stars according to its brightness. And that brightness, he had given the measurement of brightness a name called magnitude. So the brightest stars forms the first magnitude star. According to his classification, the brightest stars becomes the first magnitude star. The second magnitude star is having half brightness as that of the brightest star, and the last magnitude, that is the 6th magnitude, means the dimmest stars. That means the stars having lower brightness. So according to his observations, he classified the stars into 6 levels of brightness, from first magnitude to 6th magnitude. So, and he had given the magnitude in such a way that apparent magnitude decreases as brightness increases. So, whenever the star is having higher brightness, the value will be very low. The apparent magnitude will be very low. So this was the classification made by Hipparchus. I repeat, during the 2nd century BC, Hipparchus, a Greek astronomer, classified the naked eye stars into 6 magnitudes according to their apparent brightness. And he had catalogued or classified approximately 1000 stars. So that the brightest star is given the first magnitude. First magnitude means we can assign small m as magnitude. So first magnitude means m is equal to 1. The star of half as bright as first magnitude is called the second magnitude star with the m value 2. That is m is equal to 2. Or we can say that here the first magnitude star is the brightest star and second magnitude star is having half brightness as that of first star. So you can say it in a reverse order. That means the first magnitude star is 2 times brighter than the second magnitude star. Or you can say that the second magnitude star is 2 times brighter than the third magnitude star. And you can see there are 6 levels of brightness, isn't it? So there will be 6th magnitude star. So as there are 6 magnitude stars, we can say that the first magnitude star is 2 raised to 5 times brighter than the 6th magnitude star. So in this way, the Hipparchus classified the stars. So apparent magnitude is the brightness of the star when viewed from Earth. And we had already said that the lower the number, the brighter will be the star. Now apparent magnitude depends on how big the star is, how hot it is and how far away it is. That means it depends upon distance, color and size. Now what is meant by absolute magnitude? Absolute magnitude means it is the actual brightness of the star. How we can measure the actual brightness of the star? We are assuming that this star is at a particular distance from Earth and we are measuring its brightness. Then its brightness is known as absolute magnitude. So it is the actual brightness of a star assuming all stars were set at a standard distance from Earth. Or we can see that absolute magnitude of a star is the true brightness of the star. Here the value of absolute magnitude of sun is given as +5. So what is the difference between apparent magnitude and absolute magnitude? Apparent magnitude measures the apparent brightness, that means the brightness of a star using our naked eye. Now absolute magnitude gives you the actual brightness of the star and we assume that the stars are at a particular distance from Earth. The stars were set at a standard distance from the Earth. We assume that the stars are at a particular distance and then we will measure the brightness. That brightness is known as the actual brightness of a star, which is known as the absolute magnitude of the star. So we will give capital M for absolute magnitude, and it is the magnitude that a star would have if it were at a distance of 10 pc. Here pc means parsec. Parsec is the short form of parallactic second. So parsec is a unit of distance. So we assume that the star is at a distance of 10 parsec and we then measure the brightness of the star, which is known as the absolute magnitude of the star. So once again, absolute magnitude is the magnitude that a star would have if it were at a distance of 10 parsec. Now we will study more about this stellar magnitude sequence. We had already said that Hipparchus had classified the naked eye stars into 6 magnitudes, isn't it? So magnitude scale had been developed on the basis of measurement of brightness of stars. We measure the brightness of the stars and we made a scale which is known as the magnitude scale. So it is given the name magnitude scale since we are measuring the magnitude of star, that is brightness of star. And we can observe some stars with our naked eye. The brightness of the stars thus appear is called apparent brightness, which depends on the actual brightness as well as the distance of the star from us. The magnitude based on apparent brightness of a star is called its apparent magnitude, which is denoted by small m. And the Hipparchus classified 1000 stars into 6 groups according to the apparent brightness of the star. In 1830, it was William Herschel, by his experiment on stellar photometry, determined that the stars of first magnitude was about 100 times brighter than a star of sixth magnitude. I repeat, we are having 6 levels of stars from first magnitude star to sixth magnitude star. So, William Herschel said that the first magnitude star was about 100 times brighter than the sixth magnitude star. And with his discovery in 1836, N.R. Pogson defined magnitude scale by taking the ratio of first magnitude star to that of sixth magnitude star as 100:1. See, the first magnitude star is 100 times brighter than the sixth magnitude star. So, let the sixth magnitude star is having a magnitude 1. Then, the first magnitude star will have a brightness or magnitude 100. So, the ratio can be written as 100:1. And the ratio of brightness of stars whose magnitude differ by unity is the fifth root of 100. That means the consequent magnitude will have a value. The ratio of consequent magnitude will have a value 2.512, that is the fifth root of 100. I repeat, the ratio of brightness of stars whose magnitude differ by unity is the fifth root of 100, that is 2.512. That means the stars in one magnitude class is 2.512 times more brighter than the stars in the next higher magnitude class. I repeat, the stars in one magnitude class are 2.512 times more brighter than the stars in the next higher magnitude class. So, how we can write it in equation? See, we have the 6 magnitude scale. So, that according to William Herschel, he said that the consequent magnitude will have a ratio 2.512. So, B1 by B2, which is equal to B2 by B3, which is equal to B3 by B4, which is equal to B4 by B5, which is equal to B5 by B6, and we can write it as, this is B5. So B5 by B6, which is equal to a value that is given as X. I repeat, we are having 6 levels of magnitudes, and it was William Herschel who said that the adjacent magnitudes differ by 2.512. So that we can write B1 by B2, which is equal to B2 by B3, which is equal to B3 by B4, which is equal to B4 by B5, which is equal to B5 by B6, which is equal to a variable X. And you can multiply all these B values. B stands for brightness. So what will happen? See, if you multiply these two equations, you will get B2 and B2 will cancelled. So that you will get B1, B3. Then it got multiplied with the next equation, B3 by B4. So B3 get cancelled, isn't it? So finally, you will get B1 by B6, and it will be equal to 5 times X. That means X raised to 5. And he had said that this, in the previous slide you can see that the ratio of first magnitude star to that of sixth magnitude star is 100. So you can write B1 by B6 as 100. So what will be the value of X? X is equal to 2.512. So in this way they had calculated the value of X, and they said that, so what is 2.512? It is B1 by B6, isn't it? So we got the value of value of X as 2.512. So they say that the brightness of stars whose apparent magnitude differ by unity is 2.512. So that B1 by B2 you can write it as 2.512, or generally you can write it as BM by BN. See, BM by BN, how you can write? This is 2.512. 2.512 can be written as 2.512 whole raised to 2 minus 1. See, denominator here is 2, numerator here is 1. So you can write 2.512 whole raised to 2 minus 1. So how you can write BM by BN? BM by BN as 2.512 whole raised to n minus m. So denominator is n, numerator is m. So the whole raised to n minus m. Now you can take the logarithm, and log of 2.512 is 0.4, and from that you can take Bm by Bn. So Bm by Bn, that is the ratio of brightness of stars as 10 raised to 0.4 into n minus m. So that is the equation which helps you to calculate the brightness of a star. So here you can see that B1 by B2 is equal to 2.512, or you can write it as 2.512 whole raised to 2 minus 1. Now this 2.512 is the fifth root of 100, isn't it? So you can write it as 100 raised to 1 by 5, isn't it? So 100 raised to 1 by 5. Now 2 is written as M2 and 1 is written as M1. So B1 by B2 is equal to 100 raised to M2 minus M1 by 5. Taking the logarithm again and rearranging, you will get M2 minus M1 is equal to minus 2.5 log B1 by B2. So this is the relation between apparent brightness B and magnitude. See, B represents the magnitude and B represents the brightness and M represents the magnitude. So using brightness you can calculate the magnitude with the equation M2 minus M1 is equal to minus 2.5 log B1 by B2. Clear? So these are the different values of apparent magnitude of stars. So here you can see that we had already said that higher the brightness, lesser will be the magnitude, isn't it? See, sun is having the brightest Sun is the brightest star, isn't it? So Sun is having a value minus 26.8. So higher brightness means the magnitude will be lesser. See here also the faintest observable star. Faintest means it is having low brightness. So its value is positive. So higher the brightness, lesser will be the magnitude. Now what is meant by luminosity? Luminosity of a star is defined as the total energy radiated per second from the surface of a star. I repeat, luminosity of a star is the total amount of radiant energy emitted per second from the surface of star. And how we can calculate luminosity? The Stefan Boltzmann law relates the luminosity of a star to its surface area and temperature. So the luminosity depends on the surface area as well as temperature. And according to this law, the luminosity of a star is a function of both its radius and its surface temperature, and the relation is given by L is equal to 4 pi r square into sigma t raised to 4, where the luminosity depends on the radius of a star capital R as well as the temperature of the star capital T. And you know that sigma is the Stefan Boltzmann constant. It is having value 5.67 into 10 raised to minus 8 watt meter raised to minus 2 K raised to minus 4. And T is the temperature in Kelvin. So this is about the luminosity of a star. Now, we know that the distance can be measured in several units, isn't it? So how astronomical distances can be measured? So there are 3 units for measuring the astronomical distances. They are astronomical unit AU, light years LY, and parsec PC. What is astronomical unit AU? It is the average distance between the earth and the sun. See, we are having earth here and sun is here. So that the average distance between the earth and the sun is called 1 astronomical unit. And 1 astronomical unit is having a value 1.5 into 10 raised to 11 meter. Now, what is parsec? 1 parsec is the distance at which 1 astronomical unit subtends an angle of 1 arc second. See, here this is the 1 astronomical unit, that means the distance between earth and sun. And here it is a star, you can see a star here. So we are drawing a line like this, and it subtends an angle of 1 arc second. Then that distance is known as 1 parsec. Parsec is the short for parallactic second. So what is 1 parsec? 1 parsec is having the value 3.086 into 10 raised to 16 meter, or in terms of light year you can write 1 parsec as 3.26 light year. I repeat, parallactic second or parsec is defined as the distance at which an arc of length 1 astronomical unit subtends an angle of 1 second of arc. Now we can calculate this value of parsec in the next slide. Now what is light year? Light year is the distance travelled by the light in 1 year, isn't it? So the distance can be calculated by using speed into time. So speed, what is the speed of light? 3 into 10 raised to 8. Now what is the time? Time is 1 year. In 1 year, you can multiply 365 days with 24 hours into 60 minutes into 60 seconds. So you will get the value of time. You can substitute here. So the distance is equal to 9.46 into 10 raised to 15 meters. So this is the value of 1 light year. So 1 light year is equal to 9.46 into 10 raised to 15 meter. 1 parsec is equal to 3.086 into 10 raised to 16 meter. And 1 astronomical unit is equal to 1.5 into 10 raised to 11 meter. So you can compare the astronomical distances now, which is greater and which is lesser. So moving on to parsec, we are more interested in this unit. The parsec is a unit of distance which is equal to 3.26 light years. The name means parallax second and it refers to a way to measure the distance to other stars. See, this is the calculation of 1 parsec. 1 parsec is again defined as the distance at which an arc of length 1 astronomical unit subtends an angle of 1 second of arc. So 1 parsec is equal to 1 AU by 1 second. We know that angle is equal to arc by radius. So in order to calculate the radius, you can substitute arc by angle. So here the arc is 1 astronomical unit and angle is 1 second. So 1 astronomical unit is having value 1.5 into 10 raised to 11 meter, and 1 second you can calculate it into radians like that. So the value of 1 parsec will be 3.08 into 10 raised to 16 meter. Now we will move on to the relation between small m, capital M and distance. That is apparent magnitude, absolute magnitude and distance. See, we already have the relation Bm by Bn is equal to 10 raised to 0.4 into n minus m. So we consider a star having apparent brightness B1 and magnitude small m at a distance small d. Now we are considering the same star if it is at a distance capital D, so that its brightness is B2 and magnitude is capital M. So by this relation you can write B1 by B2 is equal to 10 raised to 0.4 into M minus M. Now there is a relation between apparent brightness and distance. We know that as distance increases, the brightness goes on decreasing, isn't it? Now the correct relation is that the apparent brightness is inversely proportional to the square of the distance. So you can write B1 as inversely proportional to 1 by d square, B2 as inversely proportional to 1 by d square. So that B1 by B2 you will get d square by d square, and it has the relation here. So you can equate it with here, and taking logarithm on both sides you can simplify and write the equation as m minus m is equal to 5 into log d minus log d. So this is the relation which connects capital M, small m and d. Now we had already said that this stars are maintained at a standard distance of 10 parsec, isn't it? So you can substitute capital D as a 10 itself. So substituting D as 10 and again rearranging, you will get equation small m minus capital M as 5 log D minus 5. So this is an important equation which helps you to do the problems. And here m minus m, it depends only on d, isn't it? So this m minus m is known as distance modulus. So this is an important equation in our module. Study this properly. Now depending upon the way in which we measure stellar brightness, magnitudes are classified into two. We had already know that there is apparent magnitude and absolute magnitude. Apparent magnitude is the brightness of the star measured with our naked eye. Absolute magnitude is the brightness of the star if the star is at a distance of 10 parsec. Now, depending on the way in which we measure, we can use several methods to measure the star's brightness, and depending on that, we can classify it into two. See, visual magnitude. Visual magnitude means by the name itself we are measuring or observing the stars visually, so that the corresponding magnitudes are known as apparent visual magnitude and absolute visual magnitude. So if we are just measuring its brightness, we are giving it a small m suffix v. If you are measuring its brightness at a distance of 10 parsec, it is absolute visual magnitude m capital M suffix V. Now what is photovisual magnitude? Photovisual magnitude means we are taking the photographs of the stars. So the stars are photographed using a yellow filter and a greenish yellow sensitive photographic emulsion. Then we can correspondingly give it as apparent photovisual magnitude and absolute photovisual magnitude. If we are just photographing the star at any particular distance, that brightness is given as a small m suffix pv. If we are photographing the star by making it at a standard, by reference of a standard distance of 10 parsec, it is absolute photovisual magnitude. Now, photographic magnitude. Here we are using blue and violet sensitive emulsions used to photograph the stellar images. In photovisual magnitude, we are using the greenish yellow sensitive photographic emulsion. In photographic magnitude, we are using blue and violet sensitive emulsions are used. So correspondingly, we are having apparent photographic magnitude MPG and absolute photographic magnitude capital MPG. And another magnitude is bolometric magnitude. We know that we are measuring the star's brightness, and this brightness depends on the color as well as the energy emitted from the star. And we are using several detectors like our eye. See, we are measuring with our eye. So our eye is the detector here, or a photographic plate or a photoelectric cell. But these detectors can respond only to a particular range only. Other brightness cannot be measured. So all stellar magnitudes defined earlier cover only a limited region of the spectrum. So that we are defining a new magnitude which is known as bolometric magnitude, in which the stellar magnitudes based on the radiations from the stars are taken. So the radiations emitted by the star, which is measured over the entire range of the electromagnetic spectrum. So such magnitudes are known as bolometric magnitude. And there are again two types of bolometric magnitudes are there: apparent bolometric magnitude and absolute bolometric magnitude. Then some corrections has to be applied in the case of this bolometric magnitude, as there is no detector is available which is sensitive to all the wavelengths of the stellar spectrum. I repeat, we know that the star is emitting several radiations, and these radiations are having particular frequency or wavelength, but there is no particular detector to measure all these radiations. So that a correction is needed here, and that correction is known as bolometric correction, given by M suffix bol, that is apparent bolometric magnitude minus apparent photovisual magnitude, or you can write it with the absolute values also, that absolute bolometric magnitude minus absolute photovisual magnitude. And the correction in the case of sun is minus 0.11. So that's about the bolometric magnitude. So we know that there are large number of stars in the sky, and we need a reference system in order to measure the sky, or a standard magnitude scale is required, and such a standard of magnetic sequence were selected in the sky in the vicinity of the north celestial pole, and these are known as NPS, that is Mount Wilson North Polar Sequence. I repeat, a standard magnitude scale with reference to which the stars over all parts of the sky could be compared conveniently. So it is a reference system, a general reference system in which the all stars can be compared, and that system is known as NPS, that is Mount Wilson North Polar Sequence. So this group served as the primary standard, and with this standard we measure the photovisual as well as the photographic magnitude of the star. And there is a modification also made in this system which is known as Mount Wilson and Palomar sequences. So initially NPS was used, later on more technologies were included, so that this Mount Wilson was renamed and modified as Mount Wilson and Palomar sequences, and with this reference we measure the stellar magnitudes or stellar brightness by photovisual or photographic magnitudes. Thank you.